Hey y'all, J-Jack Moto here again. So I wanted to show you guys something that I came across. So I've been getting a lot of questions, especially with my exhaust videos, about the fuel mapping, the tuning, possible dyno for the XSR700. So I have the two brothers SR1 full system, and I also have a K&N drop-in air filter. So no airbox modifications or anything like that, just the K&N filter. So as a lot of you know, these bikes come lean out of the factory, so they need a little bit of enriching going on. So I've had this system for over a year, and I haven't had any problems with it. But I feel like there are some performance gains that are being left on the table that I could hopefully extract with some fueling. So my local shop will do a dyno tune, a full custom dyno tune with a Power Commander 5 for around $600. That's fairly steep. And again, I've talked in the previous video, you have that bike budget that I mentioned, and that takes a huge bite out of that bike budget. So I looked for some alternatives. I came across the Booster Plug. So if you guys have heard of this, it is a plug and play. It's out of Denmark. It's called the Booster Plug. I hope you can see that. So it's a really interesting device. I'm going to put a link to it in the description of the video. So it's pretty awesome. Comes in a pretty nice package here. So again, it's from Denmark. And what we'll do in this video is I'll do a quick install, an unboxing. I'll show you what's in here, and we'll do a quick install, and then I'll do a quick ride along too, to show you how I'll kind of describe the differences that I'm feeling. I'm not going to do a side-by-side comparison or before and after or anything like that. If you would like to go see my other videos on my channel, you can kind of get an idea of how that bike runs. You can even hear it. So hopefully we'll see. Of course, I'm not expecting any huge numbers, but it may help on the decel, get rid of some of that popping, which I think sounds pretty awesome. But it does mean that the bike is running a little bit lean. So hopefully this will make a fair amount of difference. And apparently the install is super easy. And this kit was around $160 and got to me from Denmark in about 3 business days. So I had to try it. Again, this wasn't sent to me for free or anything like that. So just a really good, a really interesting product that I want to try out and want to show you guys. So I'll go do the quick install. Actually, we'll do the unboxing and then we'll do the install. Okay, stay tuned. Okay, so we're back here with the Booster Plug. Let's go ahead and do the unboxing. Grab my trusty Gerber here. So I went ahead and printed the instructions on their website. So they have the general instructions. You'll see that there, general instructions. That just kind of basically shows the concept. You can see that you're basically going to be interrupting that feed from the airbox to the ECU, the fuel injection. So you'll be interrupting that with the Booster Plug and giving that reading. And again, they have a really cool explanation on their website about how that works. And then they also have the bike specific installation tips. So you'll see their model specific installation tips. Of course, this is for the XSR or MT-07, FZ07, or the Tracer 700. If you have any of those bikes, same motor. So basically the same concept, but fairly good instructions for what I'm seeing. And again, it seems pretty straightforward. It shouldn't be too big of an issue, but I think even if you're not very experienced, the instructions are easy to follow. So again, we'll go ahead and unbox the Booster Plug here. Okay. All right. Okay, so pretty nice packaging, I gotta say. So you'll see it comes in a nice little pouch here, the actual control unit itself. And I won't go over but basically this will plug into one of these will plug into your ECU, the other will plug into your air box. So air coming this way, go into your ECU, so it'll plug in here, go out to your ECU. This will basically be the air intake temperature gauge sensor, however you want to call it. And this will, apparently you put this somewhere where the engine heat will not affect it. So according to the instructions, when you mount this in the XSR or the MT-07, this sensor is where it should be. All you have to do is zip tie it. So we'll get into that in the installation part. So we'll set that aside. It comes with a, okay, that's pretty random, but kind of cool. Basically a cloth here. It looks like some sort of microfiber. And apparently they don't want you to get into it. When in doubt, use a blade. So it shows a diagram you can see there. Well, you may not, but you can see there it shows different ways to use this. That's pretty funny. But yeah, that's kind of nice. It's a really nice material. So you could use this. I use, a lot of times when I get something like this, I put it in my pack, my backpack, in my Drago backpack, and I use it to wipe my lens or phone or just a general cleaning cloth. So that's probably what I'll do, what I'll use it for. So yeah, cool little addition there. Okay, all right, that's pretty funny. So I mentioned the power commander. They have the little decal there, and you can translate that how you wish, but that's pretty funny. And then a little key tag. So it has the website name there, and I guess their slogan, release the power. Okay, it has some kmh to mile per hour charts there, PSI, okay. All right, and then it has a little conversion chart, motorcycle conversion chart. So a little quick reference guide. That's kind of cool. You could probably put that on your fridge in your garage, or up on your pegboard or wherever. So that's kind of cool. And then it has the installation guide here as well for the general. Sorry about that. Sorry, 1 minute operation, hitting the table. And of course the little sticker. So that'll probably go on my fridge in my garage where all my other stickers go. So installation guide, plan, ride, share. Looks like an app that they use, a ride app. And that should be it. So yeah, that's the bottom of the box. Okay, cool. So I will put this back in here, and I'll go ahead and put the towel back in there too. And I'll keep these out. These will go on my fridge. Instructions. Okay, cool. So you see that there. There's the actual control unit, and we will go ahead and get into the installation portion. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So according to the instructions, you will take off these panels here. They say that to go ahead and just take off the right side panel because you'll be accessing the AIT from here. Supposedly it's in front of the gas tank. So you will use a 3mm hex for these, for the side panels, and there are 8 of them. And I'm gonna go ahead and remove the seat just in case we need to get in there. In case we need to access those. Yeah, so there's 8 of these 3mm hex keys. So I'll put the seat down there. Okay, so I'll go ahead and start undoing these bolts here. Okay, and what I always do with these loose bolts, because it's a lot easier to take a little bit of time in preparation, to have a system where you're keeping these screws in one central location. That way you don't lose anything. So it pays off to take just a couple of minutes on the front end to prep and make sure that you keep these all together. That way you won't lose them, or you'll always have an extra bolt or screw or washer or something laying around. So what I do is actually have just a simple, I just have a simple table and a shop towel. So I'll have that sitting out here, and I will just put my screws on it. I'll show you real quick. Sorry about that. So I'll just put them as I, basically as I unscrew them. So 1, 2 in the middle, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the side. Continue taking these off. And don't forget about these down here on the tank strap underneath your seat. Those 2 bolts here. 1, 2. Those are 4 mil. And then also the ones at the very front there. Those are also 4 millimeter. And as you know, if you have one of these bikes, this is only a cover. So you can access the tank fairly easily. You can change these out. You can get under, you can kind of get access to into these vital areas without taking the actual gas tank off. Okay, so we have all the appropriate screws taken out. We have all the center strap screws taken out. So that should help. We should just be able to lift this off. And then this side tank panel, I believe there's 1 or 2 more bolts underneath that strap. But as you can see, I have my bolts laid out in the exact pattern that I took them off. Again, that might be an OCD thing, but that lets me know exactly where those are gonna go when I go to put those screws back on. So, okay, so you'll see here we still have a couple of more. There's, I believe, 2 more 3 millimeter hex screws there, so we will go ahead and take those out. And then there's a pin at the front here. There's a little plastic push pin at the front. Make sure you save. This one comes with a washer, so make sure you're noting which one that is. You'll see there comes with a washer. It might not be able to pick that up. There you go. And I'll go ahead and just pop this little pin. So all you do is you take, I'm just using my, my 3 millimeter hex key here, and bear with me while I move you around here. So all you're gonna do is push that in, pop, and then that will pull right out. So again, make sure you save this, because when you put it back in, all you're gonna do is just press it right back in. So those will catch, and this little part here will recess back in, and it'll lock that tight now. So again, I'll put that back over here. So that will be on the front end. So this should be able to just come out. There's a couple little clips holding it, but that should come free like that. All right, so I have my tank panels set over here with the screws underneath there. Okay, so we've got our tank panels off. Apparently the air sensor, and I can see it right now. Maybe you could have spotted it before me. Okay, so let's refer to the instructions just to be safe. The handlebars are kind of in the way. Should be it right here. Okay, so yeah, that little sensor that I pointed out here, right here, that's what we will be disconnecting. So we'll be disconnecting the harness from that. All right, so let me see if I can work my tripod in here. I wish you guys could see my my setup here. It's a little bit comical. All right, so it says to unplug, find the AIT sensor, which we did, and unplug the harness, which we are going to do right now. So it's basically just a little push connector. So, okay, so you'll see that connector there. Connect the cable from the ECU to the booster plug using the factory connectors. No cutting or splicing needed. And unplug the cable connector. Okay, the female end here will go here. And then this sensor, I guess it's gonna basically bypass this other sensor here, because it's basically tricking the ECU into thinking that the air is colder. We'll go ahead and plug this. Okay, so this is the module, the booster plug. I'll go ahead and plug this into the factory ECU, factory connector. All right, a click is always a good noise. So we know we're good and connected there. So we will have to do a little bit of, looks like we'll have to do a little bit of tucking here, but that's okay. There's actually plenty of room in here. So it actually, yeah, so it looks like So one of the main goals, one of the notes here is do not place the external sensor behind cylinder heads or radiator. So you'll see we have plenty of room here. We're not behind cylinder heads or the radiator. This will actually be in a nice area where clean air will be coming in. So that will be perfect. Okay, so I'm leaving the module sort of hanging down here. Okay. So we will then plug this into our AIT, the factory AIT. I believe I have it wrong actually. Turn it around. Okay, a nice little solid engagement click there. So you see it's nice and solid. Okay, they're saying this should be, when you plug these in, the way that it's laid out, it should be where it needs to be. So I actually agree. It's right here. It's gonna get some nice cool air. What I may do is zip tie it to the other cable here. That way it's not just, flopping around here. Because this is actually tucked in there quite nice. Okay, so that's what I'll do. I'm gonna zip tie that. If you are a DIY person and you don't have zip ties handy, go and buy a bulk pack right now. You will use a zip tie. I carry an assortment of them in my riding pack. Okay, so I'm gonna, I don't think this needs to be, once I secure the AIT here, it should keep this portion fairly secure. So I don't think I'm gonna mess with that too much. So that's gonna tuck there. I'm basically just gonna zip tie all of these together. And these are just the factory, or sorry, the booster plug connectors. My hand's getting in the way there. It's kind of a tight spot. Okay, so I'm just gonna zip tie these together. All right. And when you zip tie stuff like this, you don't have to just bear down on it. I mean, there's no reason to that. Just get it a nice snug tie. Okay. So you'll see it's free there to move around, but it's nice and tight. I think that's going to work out pretty nice. It depends. I might, after the first ride, if I feel it or if I hear it kind of jostling around in there, then I might change it. But so let me go ahead and trim this off. And another piece of equipment that every person should have, a Leatherman. It's a nice thick piece of zip tie. Okay, so we trim that. That's pretty good there. I don't mind that that's doing that. That's okay. There's not going to be any heat source coming into there. So yeah, I like that. That should work out. That should work out quite nice. Okay, so let's go ahead and put the tank covers back on. And I'm not going to show you that, guys. You basically just do what you did in the reverse order, and then we'll do a quick ride, and I'll let you know what I think. Stay tuned. Okay, one quick thing I feel like I had to clarify when I took out the push pin here. Okay, so you'll see when you push in, it goes. That pin just goes. The center of it just pushes in and releases. So what you will do when you put it back on is you'll actually push the pin back out. So that middle portion is sticking out like that. Hope you can see that. Yep, there we go. So that'll be sticking out, and then you will just pop it back into the socket and then just push it, and you should feel a nice little solid click like that. So yeah, just wanted to clarify that. Okay, so I've got everything buttoned up, tank covers back on, and you can kind of see, if you look really hard at a certain angle, you can see that sensor there in plain view, and so that's going to get nice clean air coming in through there. So that's exactly where you want it. That took probably 10 minutes to do that. So very simple. Very cool concept, not a ton of money, so I'm really interested to see what that does. So we'll go ahead and do the quick ride video. One quick thing I wanted to note is the New Rage Cycles kit that I have here. So I have the integrated kit with a tucked plate. So a lot of you have asked how the rigidity of it is, how the build quality is, and what it looks like under the seat. Well, there you go. Super clean, plugs into your factory harnesses. I'm really happy with this kit. It's been awesome. It works great. It looks good. That's a high quality polymer there, so you'll see that braided, and they have nice wire covers there. So I did this, so again, just to kind of clean that up, I went ahead and wrapped that with electrical tape. But you'll see it just comes with those wires there, so really clean kit. The one thing I would say, the design in LEDs is so advanced, I don't see why they couldn't have somehow made this a little cleaner. It just kind of cuts off. So I don't know why they couldn't have made that, you know, I don't know if they could have done some sort of molding where that kind of just blends into the frame. That's the only gripe I have. Other than that, I love this kit. So, okay, enough about that. Tank is back on, handprints are wiped off. So I'll go ahead and do that ride video. Stay tuned.
Hey y'all, J-Jack Moto here again. Okay, so I wanted to do the ride review of the booster plug that I installed and gave a little bit of a review over. So just wanted to go ahead and do that ride review. I'm not expecting much. All it is you know, it's basically just a fuel injector, I guess, modifier. Basically, it's just the whole concept of it is to trick your ECU into thinking there's a lower outside air temperature. That device there, you may not be able to see it, but there's a little device that that basically tricks your ECU into thinking it's a lower outside air temperature. Therefore, if you know anything about fuel injection, which I know very little, then it's going to automatically adjust for that, and it's going to feed it more fuel, making it run a little bit richer. So with the aftermarket exhaust and the K&N filter, I felt I could benefit from that. So let's go ahead and get started. This should be fairly short because this video is probably going to be pretty long already with the install. So we'll go ahead and start it up here. And again, the Two Brothers Racing SR1 Black Edition. Thing sure does bark. Okay, so I've ridden this I did let it warm up just so I wouldn't have to do that on camera, and I rode it about, I don't know, a quarter of a mile from my house to this parking lot here. One of the interesting things that we might see is on the XSR700 you will see the outside air temperature. So you'll see if it's reading 39 degrees Fahrenheit. It is early September here in Tennessee, and it is not 39 degrees Fahrenheit. So you can kind of tell that sensor is telling this motor, telling the computer that it's a lower air temperature. So that'll be interesting to see. I'm okay with that. I mean, I don't need, the temperature gauge is not important to me at all. So I usually keep it on the time or the mileage gauge. Okay, so let's just see how the throttle response is here. Again, I rode it very slow just so I could kind of give you guys first impressions in real time. I will say, so on before I put this on, when I would just boost my throttle quick, so it took a second. The throttle response is actually a little bit snappier. To where before, I believe, there was a lot of air coming in, so you would hear that air being drawn in before the firing. But I'm definitely noticing it a little bit earlier there. Again, not expecting much, but I just wanted to give you all kind of an overview of what this device is doing. $160. Of course, it's not going to replace the dyno tune or anything like that, and that's still on my map. So but I just wanted to try this device out. It seemed pretty cool. The concept was very interesting. So we'll see how it does. And what I'm expecting is a little bit better throttle response, maybe a little bit more power on the low end. Other than that, okay, I don't know if y'all saw that or not, or could tell that, but the front wheel came up just a little bit, and that doesn't happen to me much because with these lower bars, my center of gravity is a little bit more forward, so it's hard to get the front wheel off the ground just by throttle. But mine definitely came off the ground between that first and second gear. if that means anything. You know, I definitely am a believer of the placebo effect. So, you know, you get something that's supposed to make your bike perform a little bit better, and you install it, and oh man, that changed everything. When in reality, it's not changing it that much. You just kind of want it to, because you spent the money, or you did the work to install it. So I'm not gonna whitewash anything here, but we'll see. I mean, it's running good so far. That's a good thing. It means I installed it right. So I'm getting a little bit less pop on decel. And again, I don't have this thing up on a scale or anything. I'm just kind of telling you guys what I feel. And I definitely, it feels a little more reactive. It doesn't, I don't know how to put it. It just, it feels a little bit more peppy. If I get some, let me go ahead and drop it down a little bit. I don't know, guys. I mean, this is I'm definitely, again, the placebo effect, I'm taking that into account, but it definitely feels more responsive. Again, this bike's already pretty awesome out of the factory, but let's see about the popping. Definitely, I gotta say, I'm definitely not hearing as much popping on the deceleration there. So that's a sign you're getting a little bit more fuel feed, from what I understand. God, this bike is so fun. Every time, you know, the thing I love about this bike and about motorcycles and customizing in general is every time you add a little something that makes it look better, perform better, or something like that, it just feels like you have a whole new bike, and that's such a cool feeling. GoPro is still recording. I got someone in the comments, my last video, recommended getting a Samsung. I believe it's the Ultra Pro or something like that. I may be messing that up. I'll put the correct verbiage in the video here, but it's made specifically for continuously recording devices like a dash cam or something like that. So we'll see how this works. It's already cut out on me before going to work the other day on a commute, so not too impressed. 64 gig. And for some reason, I don't know if this has to do with the fuel or what, but I'm getting some quite a bit less vibration in my handlebars and my pegs. It just seems to be running a little bit smoother. So that's kind of nice. Again, it's called the Booster Plug. It's out of a company in Denmark. I found out about it on the Brogue website. They have their Spitfire exhaust, and they also sell this booster plug to accompany that. So thanks, Brogue. They make really cool stuff for this bike and a lot of other bikes. So I found that on there. Did a little bit of research, and the concept is pretty cool. Kind of, you know. So I wanted to give it a try. $160, and I mean, it took me, if you saw in the install video, if I would not have been doing the setup for the video portion, it may have taken 10 minutes to do, because with the XSR, you're only removing that tank panel, that right side tank panel, and of course the middle strap there. But you know, there's no fairings or anything like that to remove, so it's super easy to install. Literally plug and play. A little bit of zip tie work. But yeah, so if you can see, and this shows that sensor is doing something at least. You can see on my speedo here, the temperature is reading 43 degrees Fahrenheit. Right now in Middle Tennessee, northern Middle Tennessee, it's right at 80. We're actually having kind of a cool day today. It's right at 80 degrees. It's supposed to hit 90 later today, but it's right at 80. So you can see that it's showing quite a bit cooler temperature. Yeah, I gotta say the throttle response is pretty impressive. I think that's where you're gonna see the most gain, is down low. You know, like with, I mean, that's what this bike is you know, a little torque monster. So especially with the weight. So that's where you're gonna see that gain, and that seems to be where I'm finding it. Of course, I'm not riding very fast. I'm on these back roads. So I didn't want this to be a long video. I just wanted it to be kind of a short first impression, because I can't do, I mean, there's not a lot I can do. You know, I'm not going to do any diagnostics or give you any numbers. I'm just going to kind of give you what I'm feeling in the seat of my pants, and it is an increase. I gotta say, for the price, and it got to me from Denmark, and of course who knows where it's shipping from, but it got to me in 3 business days, which is pretty awesome. Super easy to install, and you know, so I thought, why not? We'll see. I'm still going to do the dyno tune, hopefully, in the future. So we'll see how that comes into play there. But yeah, wanted to take you along for another ride. If you get a chance, I mean, if you want to try it out and you're not ready to bite the bullet on a full tune or the full power commander, and again, this is not customizable. It's, you know, they do have it bike specific, but you can't choose what mods you've done to your bike, you know, like a power commander or anything like that, or the EJK, any type of EJK that's programmable. There's no custom mapping or anything like that. You literally just plug and play it, and they have it set out of the factory. They do have it set, by my understanding, for factory or for aftermarket exhaust, but it's not custom, so keep that in mind. But for the price, I think it would be definitely worth trying out, even with factory exhaust, because these bikes run lean out of the factory. So I would definitely recommend giving it a try. So thank you all for watching. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. If not, thumbs down's okay. At least shows me that you're watching. And if you don't like it, let me know. You know, let me know why. I'm always trying to improve the channel and the content. So let me know what's going on. Let me know what I can do better. If you have any future video ideas, that'd be awesome. Any of that is greatly appreciated. So yeah, thank y'all for watching. Like, subscribe, head over to my YouTube channel, or sorry, my Instagram page, JJackMoto. Check that out. That one's growing pretty good too, so I really appreciate that. Get up to the stop sign here, and then I'll say goodbye to you guys and gals. Alright, thank y'all for watching. We will see you next time.